Pew Global Attitudes Project is the largest ever series of multinational surveys focusing on worldwide issues. It began in June 2001. We received a grant from the Pew Charitable Trust, where most of the funding that for what we do, both domestically and internationally, comes from, and it was to study globalization and democratization. The poll I'm going to discuss today, our new poll, is based on 24,000 in-depth interviews in 22 countries. Our headline this year was that Obama remains highly popular in most parts of the world, even though his job approval rating in the United States is not so great in many respects. He's more popular overseas than he is here. And this benefits the image of the United States worldwide. Opinions were also highly positive toward the U.S. and other nations around the world. We were impressed to see, or surprised to see, the extent to which opinions of the U.S. improved in Russia and China, very significant jumps between 2009 and 2010, and also in Japan. The disappointing news is that Muslim publics continue to hold a very unfavorable view, in fact, an overwhelmingly negative view in many places of the United States. In Egypt, or in Turkey and Pakistan, just 17% of the people we polled had a favorable view of the United States. In Egypt, we saw the U.S.'s favorability rating dropping from 27% in 2009 to just 17% this year, which makes it among the lowest. It makes it the lowest rating that we've obtained in Egypt since we've started doing polling there in 2006. Closer to home, one of the most disappointing, the most unfavorable findings was we found the image of the United States tumbling in Mexico in response to the new Arizona immigration law. Before the bill was signed, 62% of Mexicans gave the U.S. a favorable rating. We were in the field and we decided, well, something very significant has happened, so we then did a follow-up survey, an identical follow-up survey, and we saw that 62% tumbling to 44%. We also saw Barack Obama's image affected by this in Mexico, a much more negative read on him after the bill, even though obviously Barack Obama was not a proponent of the bill, in fact is a critic of the law. But nonetheless, he was tarred by that brush in Mexico.
Do you have anything that speaks to aspirations to live in the United States or to change their own countries to the US model? There's been a lot of talk about other state capitalist models and so on and so forth on the rise. Do you have anything on that?
What we saw over the past decade is fewer people saying that they would advise young people who wanted to leave their own countries to come to the United States. Many mentions of Australia, New Zealand, and all kinds of Canada and all kinds of places, but with the U.S. image being fairly low over that era, those percentages were a good deal lower than we expected. We did find, however, when we talked to people in the Middle East who had friends and relatives living in the United States, that they had a very high regard for the experience of these emigres.